Hey everyone, today I've got a picture book for you. We're doing something a little bit different for our lesson today. I'm going to share with you this book by Trillia Newbell that's illustrated by Catalina Echeverri called God's Very Good Idea. In the beginning, in fact, before the beginning, God had a very good idea. It was an even better idea than solar panels that were invented in 1954, chocolate chip cookies invented in 1938, the Super Soaker, color TV, the life raft, fireworks, roller skates, or the X-ray machine, all invented at various points in history. See, God's idea was to make people. Lots of people, lots of different people who would all enjoy loving him and all enjoy loving each other. They would all be made in his image. They would all be like mirrors, reflecting what God is like. Because God is full of love, they would be full of love too. And so God, he got to work. He made a beautiful world for people to live in. Then he made the first people, a man and a woman. And he said to them, "Be happy. Enjoy loving me and loving each other. Have a huge family that will fill the earth and look after the earth and enjoy the earth." God carried on creating people. All of them were made in his image. All of them were different too. Some were men and some were women. Some liked reading. Some liked riding bikes. Some had darker skin and some had lighter skin. Some had curly hair, like me. Some had straight hair. We live in God's world. We are all different, but we are also all the same. Everyone you see is different than you and the same as you. They might look different or speak different or play different, but they are all made in God's image. And so they are all valuable. This is God's very good idea. But people ruined God's very good idea. The first people chose not to love God. This is called sin. And because they chose not to love God as they should, they forgot how to love each other as they should. We are the same. We choose not to love God, and so we are not able to love each other like we should. We sin. Sometimes we treat others badly because they're different than us. People fight with each other. People are mean to each other. People laugh at each other. Because we have ruined God's very good idea, he is not pleased with us. Our sin means we can't be friends with him or enjoy living with him. We need God's forgiveness for ruining his very good idea, and it's the same for everyone in the world. People who like reading need forgiveness. And people who like riding bikes, they need forgiveness too. People with darker skin need forgiveness. And people with lighter skin need forgiveness. People with curly hair need forgiveness. People with straight hair need forgiveness. But God was not surprised by people ruining things. He always had a very good plan to rescue his very good idea. So, God got to work. He came to earth as a person, Jesus. Jesus loved people who were different than him. He loved people who no one else loved. You might remember the story that they're showing here. He healed a woman and said, "Your faith has made you well." Everyone was so surprised. You remember when he healed the man who couldn't see? "I can see." You see, Jesus, he always enjoyed loving all the different people he met. Jesus shows us how to enjoy loving each other. But people didn't love Jesus. Instead, they hated him. They put him on a cross to die. But this was part of God's plan. On the cross, Jesus took our sin so that we can be forgiven. Jesus forgives his people for their sins. Jesus didn't stay dead. He rose back to life and then went back to live in heaven. And then he gave his people his Spirit to help them enjoy loving him and loving all the different people they know. Read in the Bible how God gave the Holy Spirit. So Jesus helps us love each other. Maybe you'll do those same things later today. One day, God will finish his very good idea. Jesus will come back and make the world perfect again. Anyone who has asked Jesus to forgive them will live there with their different languages and skin colors. They will enjoy loving God and loving each other. They will enjoy praising God for making and rescuing and finishing his very good idea. But here's a very, very, very good part of God's very good idea. You don't have to wait till then to enjoy it. Jesus welcomes anyone who asks him to forgive them. And when Jesus welcomes someone, he welcomes them into his family forever. He welcomes people who like reading and people who like riding bikes. He welcomes people with darker skin and people with lighter skin. He welcomes people with curly hair and people with straight hair. I don't know about you, but this kind of reminds me of our church lobby or church cafe back when we were able to meet together. It's kind of fun. Although I don't think we have pink carpet or pink flooring. Not yet, anyway. God's family is called the church. Your church friends, well, they're your brothers and sisters. Your wonderful and colorful church family. You can enjoy loving them and loving God with them. This is God's very good idea. Lots of different people enjoying loving him and loving each other. See, God made it. People ruined it. He rescued it. And he will finish it. And with your church family, you can enjoy being a part of it right now. And so even though we're not meeting in our church building right now, even though we're not doing the same things we're used to doing here at church, Remember, the church is not this building. The church is the people. All of you listening out there, all of you who have called on Jesus to forgive them and to be a part of his family, everyone who puts their hope and trust in Jesus, we are a family together. And so if you're feeling a little bit lonely because you haven't seen your family members, please take a chance to reach out. Take some time to remind ourselves that God created us to be in this family together, to love him and to love each other, no matter what our hair is like or what our skin is like or what languages we speak. That's our prayer for you, to remember that every single day and to be full of joy to share God's love to everyone you encounter.